Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Medeek Project Plugin. My name is Nathaniel P. Wilkerson, and today I wanted to introduce you guys to a new tool that I've added to the project plugin, and I'm actually going to call this toolbar, I think, the Medeek Builder toolbar. And so I only have one actual icon or tool right now, which is the Garage Builder tool or the Draw Garage tool. Let's go ahead and drop that back up there. Okay, so before you actually start using this new tool, I highly recommend that you essentially set up all of your default settings for your wall plugin, your truss plugin, and your foundation plugin. So for example, if we jump into the wall real quick here, you can see that, let's go here into walls, for instance. And you've got most of your default settings, but I guess what I really want to show you guys is doors and windows. So I have it set up here so that all of my advanced options are turned on right here, and then it will install the door, install the exterior trim and the interior casing. Same thing with the windows. I've got the shutters turned off, of course, because I rarely use those. And then also with the garage door settings, you've got all of your typical installation of the door, the exterior trim, the interior casing. And of course, portal frames is kind of a specialized thing, so we can turn that off. All right, so you want to make sure that you have all of these kind of default settings set the way you want before you start using the Garage Builder. Also, with the Truss plugin, same sort of thing. Make sure you got your layers and your materials all turned on. Sheathing, same thing. Turn on your cladding, your sheathing, everything you normally want. Otherwise, if you don't, and especially here under the gable end trusses and advanced options, make sure you have those turned on. What's going to happen is this new tool will use pretty much whatever default settings that you have if you haven't specified them. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Just one click and we load up. You kind of see this footprint of a 4-wall garage. So basically, the garage tool is a proof of concept type of tool. I'm doing this basically to set up a kind of a layout system where you can lay out a floor plan and then save that floor plan. So just like we have wall presets or door presets or window presets, well, now we're kind of taking it a layer above that. And we are creating garage presets or garage plans, as I call them. So you'll notice over here on the right-hand menu, you'll have these garage plans where you can save and load and delete, just like you can do with wall presets. All right, so when you first load this, you're going to get just basically 4 walls, and then you just start dragging and dropping your elements into it. So let's put a garage door in there, and you'll notice it instantly dimensions it. And let's put our door here. Now notice I kind of went far from the corner. I don't really want that. So if you want to move things, it's really fairly intuitive. You just kind of grab and hold and drag. And I'm going to put that right there. And I'll drag a window in here, put that centered, and then maybe another window right here at 15. So yeah, it's really pretty intuitive and easy to use. You can drag things around. You can delete them. By the way, if you want, you can just hit the delete key or a button here, or you can just hit the delete key on your keyboard. All right, so let's go ahead and put that back. So also you'll notice too that as you create these, you'll see a few basic settings for each one of these as you highlight them. Window on the back wall, window on the right wall. You can set the sizes. Of course, you can set the position numerically, or you can drag it wherever you need it. And you can also now set some basic window types, and I will probably open this up to more window types as we go along. Same sort of thing with doors. You can adjust the door swing, so you have 4 options, just like the regular wall plugin. And then, of course, with garage doors right now, we just have the basic width and height. All right, so I will be adding in more advanced options as we go, but I didn't want to, overcomplicate this thing. I wanted to keep it fairly simple, fairly lightweight. All right, so let's jump over the elevations little tab here, and you'll see you've got front, left, right, and back, so you can jump around, just get an idea of what the structure is going to look like. It's a fairly simple preview, essentially, but it gives you a good idea. what you're going to end up with. Okay, so here under roof, right now I have it limited as of the time of this video, which is July 29th, 2026. We don't have the gable rafter roof set up yet, only because the API that I'm using just does not have that enabled yet, but I will be adding that. And probably will do a hip option as well. So right now, yeah, you can set up common trusses on this. You can select from a bunch of 14 different common trusses, I think it is. I'm going to set the pitch here just to show you guys to a 512 roof, and you can see it drops it down. You can also set your overhang and your gable overhangs, and of course you can change your roof orientation, so you can change the ridge to go the other direction. Well, let's just keep it there for now. All right, and then slab on grade, that's the only option right now. We probably will do a stem wall with a slab option eventually as well, but right now it's just you got your slab depth, foundation depth, and footing width. All right, so with regards to advanced options or additional options, right now the roof and the slab on grade are pretty much limited to what you see here, and then it will essentially default to whatever your default settings are. And once you create the garage, of course, you can always use the regular Medeek tools to modify it. However, let's go ahead and change this here and make it blue. Additional options is, now what I've done here is I've taken all the regular wall options, or at least the applicable ones, and I've added in this additional menu, which gives you access to all of these advanced options. So you can really get in here and change this up a lot. All right, so also just to be clear, you can save one of these plans, and when you save these plans, you will also save any of these additional options as well. So that's kind of nice because you can kind of pre-configure it. And also right now, of course, the wall options, all of the ones that here will apply to all 4 walls, right? Okay. So let's jump over to project data real quick. So you can populate this, and this is used for printing out your floor plan. Beyond that, I don't really have any other role that this plays, but it's quite useful as far as, for instance, I'm going to just put that there. And I could fill all this out, but I'm not going to do it right now. Also, this is also saved with the plan. So once you get everything populated and you get things how you want, I highly recommend you can click save here. You can also click save up top. I'm just going to click save here. I'm going to name this plan plan 1 and save that plan. Okay. All right. And then finally, I just want to show you guys the settings. Under settings here, now the settings are not plan specific. They're basically like global settings, except they only apply to the garage builder itself. And so this here will set a page border radius on your printed page, or basically your border or your title block. And I will show you what that looks like. Actually, let's set this just a little higher so we can actually see that a little better. Okay, and when you save these settings here, you don't, this button down below is for saving the plan settings, but this actually saves kind of the global settings. So this will be, persist over multiple sessions or multiple, tool instantiations. Okay, so let's jump back real quick and let's show you what that print looks like. So we'll go with we've got 4 different sizes: letter, NCB, which is a ledger size, I think it's 11 by 17, architectural C, and architectural D, right, which is like 24 by 36, and I think this is 18 by 24. All right, let's just go with letter, and then if we click print, you'll see that it's going to try to auto calculate what that scale needs to be, and I have it set up so it'll basically default to kind of your typical architectural scales, so that you can actually take your architectural ruler or scale and pull measurements off of it, right? And so you can see here we've slightly filled out this title block, but it's not fully filled out. And then typically what I'll do is I'll click print, and I can print right to my printer, or if you want, you can click right here Adobe PDF if you have that installed, and you can create a PDF out of it. Typically too, though, with PDF, you're going to want to check your paper size and also your layout. You're going to want to go ledger or landscape on that so that it properly orients it. All right, and then I just click print. Let's see if we can't get ourselves a floor plan out of this. All right, just give it a second, and it's thinking. Okay, and so there's our PDF. Right. All right, and that's kind of nice because you can just take this and save it and, you know, email it to people, whatever you want to do. All right, so let's jump out of that. And then this is just the print dialog. You can close this out. All right, one thing I didn't show you yet is this grid option right up here by the DXF and the print. So right now you can see if you start moving these around, they snap every foot. And if you need more granularity, I have it set up so you can do a 3-foot, 6-inch, 12-inch, and 24-inch, right? So if you need a little bit higher grid size and snapping, you can move that, and now see we can snap every 6 inches rather than just every foot. So it just kind of makes this easier to move things around because, you know, you want things on a regular sort of grid system rather than just random, you know, wherever. All right, lastly, I think we just need to show the DXF option. So DXF gives you the ability to export out. Right now it's just the floor plan. It'll export out this to a DXF file. And I am going to actually drop this into a different folder. Let's call it my test folder. And that naming is fine. We'll just drop that there. Okay. All right, so that's it. It's created the file. Here it is right here inside this folder called plan1.dxf. I'm going to double click on that actually and see if we can't load it up into draft site here. I've got draft site set up. And I don't know why, but it always pulls up these little silly menus, which is really annoying. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of draft site, to be honest. I used to actually use it a bit back a few years back, but I don't know, it just feels more bloated than anything lately. Let's see if we can close this out. I guess we can't. So anyways, not a big deal. I just want to show you guys what this looks like. Okay, so here's your kind of typical 2D, you know, your 2D file. Yeah, it's not 3D or anything. And I've basically kind of set up some what I call the Medeek layer and style. So you've got your dimensions, and these are actual real linear dimensions. They're not associative right now, but you can move them around. They're just regular linear dimensions, rotated linear dimensions. So yeah, you can drop this in, get a DXF out, and work with it in AutoCAD or some other program, whatever is your choice. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and minimize that. And so that's pretty much it. A few, you know, this is brand new. A few more things I'm going to be adding to it, of course. And again, it's, like I said, it's a proof of concept. So right now you're limited to 4 walls, 4 exterior walls only, and you know, you can of course put all your openings into it. But let's go ahead and actually show you now how this works. So now that we've got kind of this configured, all we need to do is hit that create garage and then jump over to our drawing. So I'm going to actually move this off the screen because I have multiple screens. And I am going to, sorry about that, my phone decided to ring. I'm going to hit the create garage button. And then I'm going to pick that first point. So that first point will set up where the left front corner of the garage is. And then the second point will set the direction, right? So I'm just going to run it, you know, orthogonal. And we'll let it do its thing. And there you have it. And we have now a little garage set up. Right, so that's basically taken this and it's leveraged the Medeek APIs, the Wall, Truss, and Foundation, and then generated this. So this is no different than a regular Medeek, you know, building or structure. You can edit it with any of the Medeek tools. They're just regular Medeek assemblies. Nothing different than any other Medeek's assembly or structure that you create manually, right? So you can get in here now and you can modify this roof, edit the roof truss assembly, and do everything you want. The one thing to note though is that this is kind of a fire and forget app, as I call it. So once you create this, there's no tie back to the actual garage builder, right? It sends out everything that's stored in this, and then and that's basically it. It doesn't have any connection back. Okay, so like let's say now let's see, I don't want to do that. I want to just delete this here real quick. I'm going to take a look and see if I have anything else loaded. Yeah, I had this two-door garage that I created previously. I'm going to show you how to load that. Just click load, and now you see you have this, which is the one I saved previously. So now I want to, instead, maybe I want to create that. So I'm going to drop over here again, put the 2 points that define it, let it do its thing, and now you've got a two-car garage. All right, so that's pretty much it. You know, I trying to make this as intuitive and simple as possible, just so people can run with it and quickly generate garages, and actually save a bunch of garages, so you can just throw down any plan you want. And again, all of the settings here are saved with each garage plan. So the project data, you can also upload your own image, like if you're a designer, put your own logo there. Yeah, it should be pretty convenient, and I appreciate you guys' patience with me on this, because it's probably going to have a few fires to put out yet. But if you have any questions or comments or suggestions, please shoot me an email, or you can even give me a call. All right, we will talk to you guys later. Thank you.